Welcome back. Again, my name is David Passmore, and I'm here to give you information about the usage of your Intoxalock device or Ignition Interlock device if you're using a different product. So let's talk about a scenario, and this may or may not apply to you, and this may be overkill for you. But I want to at least tell you about it because it is something that I have seen here a lot in the field. And again, it's something that you may never run into, or it's something that you may run into. And therefore, I want to pass this information on to you so I can better prepare you in the event that this scenario happens. So let's say you're driving down the road one day and you notice that a police officer gets behind you, and perhaps, as many police officers do, they run your tag, and maybe they see that you have a court-ordered ignition interlock device. So at that point, maybe they follow you. Maybe you get pulled over because you did a traffic infraction. Maybe you were speeding, or you did not properly signal or something like that. So this encounter may go like this, and I'm not saying that it does or it would to you, but it is a possibility that it could, because I've heard this a lot. So you get pulled over and the police officer says, "Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. I pulled you over because you failed to yield at the stop sign, or you did a California stop, or you were speeding, or whatever. License, registration, and insurance, please." And then at that point, they're going to say, "Oh, I see you have an Intoxalock device or an Ignition Interlock device. I detect the odor in the presence of marijuana emanating from your person. When was the last time you smoked weed?" Now, you may have never smoked weed, or maybe you just smoked weed. Maybe they actually are smelling it. I know personally, I have been stopped and I have had that said to me, and I don't smoke weed. So it really kind of offended me a little bit. But nonetheless, so if your response is, "I don't smoke marijuana," a likely or potential next following scenario is, "Great, so you don't have a problem if I search your vehicle." So at that point, you may be subject to having a narcotics dog be called out to search your vehicle, or let's say if you were to refuse, and again, this is not legal advice, but what is a potential scenario is that a police officer may contact a judge or a magistrate and say, "Hey, I've got so-and-so pulled over here, and they do have an ignition interlock device, and I believe that I detect the odor in the presence of marijuana emanating from their person or their vehicle, and they're denying me access to search their vehicle." More than likely, the judge or magistrate is going to issue a letter, a warrant letter. So at that point, you're stuck on the side of the road, and then now you have a warrant to search your vehicle. So they're going to search your vehicle. If you have, and I'm going to get to the point right now, if you have anything in your car, your vehicle, or on your person, or in your car, underneath the seat, tucked into the dash, wherever, if you have anything illegal, it is possible that they could find it. And if they find it, you may be in trouble for having said narcotic or illegal weapon in your vehicle or on your possession. So what is the bottom line of this story? The bottom line is that make sure that you know who is riding in your vehicle, and if they potentially have any illegal items such as narcotics, weapons, any other things that could potentially get you and or them in trouble. Now, this may not apply to you. You maybe say, hey, I don't do any illegal drugs. And that's fine. Just know that this scenario may present itself. I'm not saying that it will, and I am not giving you advice as to what to do or what not to do, except for don't have anything illegal in your vehicle. Now, let's talk about, let's say, a prescribed medication. Let's pull an anti-anxiety medication that would be considered a narcotic, and I don't want to name a name brand here, but let's say that you're legally prescribed that. So I had this situation where a lady got pulled over and she had her pocketbook in the back seat, and the dog had chewed up one of her anti-anxiety medicine pill bottles. As a result of that, she took 15 pills from this container and put it into another dispensed container. So she had 40 pills in a pill bottle that was dispensed at 25. That is a violation. That was an arrestable offense. So she went to jail for that. So if you have any prescribed, legally prescribed narcotics, make sure that it is in its proper as dispensed container, and that it is, don't mix any of those pills in there, and that way you won't have a likelihood that a police officer would want to take you to jail and arrest you for having a narcotic that was not properly stored, cared for, and it can save you a lot of aggravation. So again, make sure that no one rides in your vehicle unless you know what their contents are. Okay? So I hope that that helps you, and stay tuned. Got another video coming up for you. We'll talk a little bit more about having an ignition interlock device, especially the Intoxalock device. So thank you very much.